Atamiskatuin adventurers, greetings. I've been thinking about the OSR, and for some time now I've intentionally steered myself away from places like Reddit and social media, just from what I perceive to be, I don't know, infighting between the fans of various systems. And it's something that I'm familiar with from being a Linux user for the last 20 years, in that there are certain people, Linux users, or specifically, I guess, fans of specific distros, or brands of Linux, that put up these walls in front of their particular little niche, and I don't know, make artificial divisions between their Linux and their distro and other people's distros, or between Linux as an operating system and other operating systems like Windows. And I hated it then, and I hate it now, and I hate it when I see that sort of mindset finding its way into other niche things, of which the OSR is one. So if you've watched any of my other videos, or all of my other videos, you've heard me talk about basic fantasy role-playing game in the same breath as Old School Essentials and Labyrinth Lord. And it's because I see any sort of a basic and expert retro clone, or the original D&D basic and expert, and I've held those books up on this channel also. I see them all as part of one family, and I don't see any as a greater than or a lesser than. I love them all equally, and if you never see me holding a copy of Old School Essentials on this channel, it's because I can't afford it. I'm a person in my 50s. I have 2 kids in private school and 1 in university, and it does not fit into my budget to be able to spend money on a product that I can clearly see has a lot of very fervent, dedicated followers. But it's just, it's not something that I can afford. I was born and raised in a little mining town in the middle of nowhere. I'm doing well in my life. I've got a good job. But it doesn't... a lot of my success in my life, I feel like, comes from good fortune. And I don't want my children's lives to have to depend on good fortune so that they do as well as I do. If I have any extra money, it's going into helping them to be more successful earlier than what I had to sort of bumble into through trial and error in my life. And so that's why, I don't know. It's strange that some of the things that I embrace so strongly, like the open source ethos, and being a Linux user, and being a basic fantasy role-playing game fan, and now an author. It's about a year now since I wrote Chrysogon's Coterie. I'm embarrassed to admit that I became a Linux user, I guess, because I couldn't afford Windows, and I didn't want to be, a pirate. And so I experimented with open source and free and open source software as a way to still have a good standard of living. When I had much lower income than I do now. But I sort of got completely drawn up into it because I realized that along with open source products, whether it's a software or whether it's a book, there comes a community of people that are doing it for the common good, which is why it was so important for me to eventually become an author myself someday and contribute something that would be for the public good, for people that wanted it. And, it's not even just this book. Let's see here. There's another one. there are plenty of people from all game systems that think that this particular book, The Equipment Emporium, is an amazing tool. And I can't speak on behalf of all people that are fans of basic fantasy, but as a community member, I know that when I create tools or when I see other people's tools that are embraced by the wider OSR community, I'm happy and I'm proud, and I feel like we're meeting our mandate of trying to put goodness out into the world for a price that people can afford to do. And when I see people say disparaging things about the system, about its artwork, about its personality or lack of personality, I shrug it off. But I honestly don't know why we do this, why we try to create artificial divisions between ourselves and our systems. I think that there's goodness in all of them. And I don't think that anyone who takes the perspective that their system is the system and all other systems suck or are less than or not as good as, you are not going to attract anyone to your way of thinking. Negativity just breeds negativity. Echo chambers they speak to everyone that's in that echo chamber, but you're not likely to sort of attract anyone over to your side. And in general, from the outside, I think it just makes us look like a bunch of infantile children. And I think we're better than that. And I'm not saying that all people feel this way, but somehow it's always the loudest, most vocal minority of people that take the most amount of space in public forums. And it creates, for better or worse, the impression that is a majority viewpoint held by most people. And I think we're better than that. So I don't know what's happening with the OSR. I know that I just don't have much desire to do anything to go out there and really look at places where people have created their little silos to talk about their system and why it's the best. But it does make me cling much tighter to the community that I'm in, where we're not trying to make any money off of this at all. We are selling these books at cost or plus a quarter. Because of price fluctuations, we can't be losing money in the process of making stuff. But making things that we hope will be useful, valuable for the entire OSR, and just honestly putting our hearts and our time into making things just for the public good. I can't imagine Basic Fantasy not being my favorite game system, and not because it's maybe not as polished and as beautiful and as sexy as some of the competitors. But it's more than good enough. And I love the people in it, and I love the thinking behind it. And I love the fact that we're not trying to outdo everybody else, but rather just to do our thing the best that we can do and create tools that are of general use to everyone. Anyway. Am I imagining all this stuff? It's honestly been a while. I found myself so turned off that I kind of tuned out of a lot of the social media and infighting some time ago. And I don't know what the current landscape is, but I would certainly appreciate hearing from you and your thoughts on, So. I am grateful for everyone that's taken an interest in this channel and my videos and has taken the time to talk to me and leave comments and stuff. I read absolutely everything, and I reflect on what you say, and it does mean a lot. So, Kikichi na nas komitanawa. I thank you all greatly.